by Kraft. Another episode. The NFL season started yesterday, man, with the Eagles and Cowboys. Today, Friday, we got Chargers, Chiefs here in about, it's 2 o'clock, so we got Chiefs, Chargers here in about maybe 5 hours or so in Brazil on YouTube. Before I get too deep into this video, which will be about, some NFL predictions I have as far as like player props and just future bets that I have. I do kind of want to voice my frustration for the NFL and how they're going about marketing and putting out these games. Now, I get it. Christmas games on Netflix, great. Maybe, I don't know if they did Thanksgiving on Netflix, but if they were to do a Thanksgiving game on Netflix, great. Special occasions like that, I completely understand. And I'm not even mad at like games on Fridays or Thursdays. Those are okay. But what is kind of frustrating, and obviously, me ranting or like voicing my frustration isn't going to change nothing. But I just would like to go on record and say that it is pretty dumb how they scatter out all these games to where you have to buy all these subscriptions just to keep up with what's going on. Now, with the power of social media, obviously, there's websites that you can stream off of. Twitter is a pretty active app, so they're always keeping you updated. They'll even post clips. TikTok, people live stream games. YouTube, you find the right channel, they might live stream some games. But we shouldn't have to do that, man. There was a time where like all games were broadcasted on just basic cable. ABC, NBC, CBS, those basic channels that everybody in the house has, whether you have cable or not. Even if you got the antenna, it was just easy to get, access to games. Now you got to buy Netflix subscriptions. Now you got to buy a Peacock subscription, Amazon Prime subscription, YouTube TV, NFL Red Zone now has ads. It's like, bruh, I get it, man. Money talks. It's 2025. They going where the money at. But I feel like over time, you got to take care of the consumer, the people who are actually, watching this stuff. Now, I'm calling it now. And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to record this. And it's not even like a bold prediction or anything. But all these commercials on Red Zone and stuff now, watch next season. They'll offer an ad-free premium version that's like $20 more. And whole time, it's just going to be regular Red Zone again without the ads. But they're going to mark it up as if this new thing, premium. Don't throw the word premium on it. Whole time, it's just no commercials. Shout out Scott Hansen and the Red Zone crew. They do a great job, great production. But just really frustrated how the NFL scatters all these games everywhere. And now you're fishing. You might as well save some money and go visit some of these big games yourself with all the money you're going to be spending annually on just all these accounts and keeping up with it. But quick rant, diving straight into it. NFL predictions / player props that I have for this year. I'll throw it up. The game happened yesterday, obviously, and I'll just recap that game before I go too deep into the predictions. Eagles, Cowboys, great way to start off the NFL season, especially in the first half. Now, in the second half, it did slow down after the rain delay or the weather delay. I don't think we got any points after that, which occurred, I think, midway or toward the end of the third quarter. But those first 2 quarters were really exciting. I think the first 6 drives, I don't think we seen a punt the whole first half. I could be mistaken, but I don't think we seen a punt the entire first half. I know the Eagles went their first 3 drives and scored a touchdown. Jalen Hurts looked great. Definitely looked like a top 5 quarterback. Jalen Hurts did a really good job at controlling this game. Really impressive win for the Eagles, considering the fact that they're two of their 3 main contributors on offense, that being the wide receiving room, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. I think they combined for less than 50 yards. A.J. Brown had 1 reception, 1 target, less than 10 yards. I didn't really look back at the game, and I don't know if that's more of a compliment to the Cowboys secondary with them taking those 2 guys out the game and kind of just wanting them to get beat, and kind of making Jalen Hurts beat them himself, or if it was just maybe Jalen Hurts and the wide receiving room just weren't on the same page. Who knows? It was week 1. First game of the season. I don't like to get too I don't like to exaggerate my opinions or my predictions off 1 week. But both teams looked really solid. With Jalen Carter getting suspended, that was the dumbest thing of the night. Luckily, the Eagles still got the win, but he's got to learn mental toughness, man. Jalen Carter has got to learn mental toughness. And from the outside looking in, obviously, it's easy for me to say, this is what you got to do. You got to do this. But a lot of players, most players in the league show mental toughness, constantly, every day, every play. He's not the first player to get spit at. And Dak Prescott, honestly, it looked like, according to the replay, I'm not going to play it because I'm not going to put that up here, but according to the replay, Dak Prescott obviously, provoked Jalen Carter. I don't even want to use the word provoked because, they was going at it. It's the game of football, but, he did, on camera at least. I don't know what they were chirping about, but he did spit on the ground. Jalen Carter took offense to that, and he's suspended. Unfortunately, I do see them suspending him. Hopefully, it's only maybe for like a game or two. But I think the league will just make an example out of him, to start the season off like, hey, this is non-tolerance. Spitting on people is non-tolerance. But maybe him getting suspended for the whole game was enough. I personally believe that him getting suspended for the Cowboys game is a long enough suspension. But we'll see. It is a heated rivalry. I'm not justifying anything that Jalen Carter did. But he just got to be mentally stronger, which he will. It's the first, emotions are running high rivalry game. Two men headbutting, two alpha males going at it. Stuff happens. I just hate how the media is going to try to swing this and make him look like a super bad guy, especially after, the stories that were following him coming out of college. And with it being close to extension time, hopefully Jalen Carter just locks in, continues to dominate the game of football, but more importantly, continues to stay focused on the main thing which is staying available for his team and controlling what he can control. So, good game by the Cowboys, good game by the Eagles. Transitioning into my first bet or prediction of the season. And I made this prediction before the game happened last night, but I do have the Cowboys. I'm not sure if Vegas has it at now, but at the time of me making the bet, I took the over for the Cowboys wins at 8.5. That offense is just super explosive, and Javonte Williams added another layer to that offense that I was concerned about in the run game. He got in 2 touchdowns. They were 1-yard touchdowns, but Javonte Williams did experience some injuries earlier in his career, but I do think that sometimes just going to a new team and a fresh start is all a player needs. Clearly, he still has the ability. So Javonte Williams, I think, is definitely the X factor in this offense. If he can stay healthy and just provide that running threat that the Cowboys need, he don't even have to be like a top 10 back, but just enough of a threat so they got to maybe pack the box and leave these corners kind of on their own to deal with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Got the Cowboys going over 8.5 wins. Very solid game without Micah Parsons. And Cowboys fans, I think a sigh of relief was made because against the defending champions, you lost a 1-possession game without the best player, one of the best players in the league, in Micah Parsons. So Cowboys over 8.5 win total. I think that's a safe bet to make. This bet is a little more personable than all the other ones because it has my fantasy football ties with it. So the next bet that I have is Nico Collins leading the league in receiving yards, man. Last year, he had a 17-game pace of 96 receptions, 10 touchdowns, and 1,400 receiving yards. He has a top 5 easiest schedule amongst all wide receivers in the league. He's declared wide receiver 1. And unlike some of these other talented wide receivers in the league, he doesn't necessarily have to worry about splitting shares with a lot of these other guys in the wide receiver room. I looked up the Houston Texans wide receiver depth chart. He's splitting reps with a questionable Christian Kirk, who's up there in age, not worried about that at all. He's got 2 rookies, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, 2 really good wide receivers, play with each other in college, so they both playing for the Texans. It's pretty cool. Tank Dell is obviously out. They have Justin Watson, but again, with all those names that I named, nobody that I see taking away the reps from Nico Collins. The Texans do have Nick Chubb and Damian Pierce in that running back room, but Joe Mixon is the clear running back one of that team. He's obviously good in the pass game as well, so with him out for the first couple weeks of the season, I can see him being out kind of increase the production of Nico Collins, which already would be up just because of the talent level. CJ Stroud did go on like an interview and said he would be doing, I'm paraphrasing here, he would be doing Nico Collins a disservice if he's not a superstar. So I think it's clear that that's going to be his main target. That's pretty obvious. But I think similar to that Cowboys-Eagles game last year, we might see Nico Collins get somewhere upward of 8, 9, 10 targets in week 1 against the LA Rams, whose secondary I don't think is the best. So second future bet that I have is Nico Collins leading the league in receiving yards. This one is going to take time. This is a bet that I'll kind of be keeping track of throughout the season. So randomly, especially on videos that recap Sundays and Mondays, you'll see the Nico Collins receiving yards tracker, probably somewhere up there. Right now he's got 0 yards, but after this game against the Rams, another bet, I got Nico Collins getting at least 80 receiving yards. Now, rather you parlay that with something or take it straight up. I think when I took it straight up, it was minus 110. I'm not really into the home runs. I try to just stack my wins and get my money. So I think Nico Collins, 80 receiving yards is a really good, it's a really good value for the bet. He's a captain this year. With being a captain comes a lot of responsibility. The Rams DBs, I'm not too fond of it. So I think Nico Collins cooks them for at least 80 yards and leads the league in receiving yards this season. Moving on to my next bet, I'm going to take it over to the AFC West. I got Bo Nix going over 210 passing yards against the Tennessee Titans. They got L'Jarius Sneed over there in the secondary. But Bo Nix, who was really impressive last year, especially after he kind of, got those first 4 weeks out the way and the game kind of slowed down to him. He definitely picked up. You see him every week get better. And Bo Nix was really one of those quarterbacks where, like, literally every week you see him just get a little bit better each week. He got comfortable, and by the time that playoff game came around, I think the game slowed down for Bo Nix. I think he got pretty comfortable, and he looked solid, man, especially that bomb he threw in the beginning of the game for a touchdown against the Bills. That was a really good sign of a rookie not really rattled by the big stage. So I think year 2 will transition really good for him. The Tennessee Titans secondary, kind of similar to the Rams outside of Sneed. I'm not too worried about it. He's got his weapon. He's got his main guy back in Cortland Sutton. They drafted a wide receiver that they really like, Pat Bryant. And they acquired Evan Ingram, which is a really good target at tight end for like check down situations. Running back RJ Harvey is also really good in the pass game. I do expect to see him a decent amount of time in Tennessee, especially if the score kind of gets out of hand. So I think Bo Nix over 210 passing yards is a gimme. Titans secondary, don't like it. Plenty weapons for him to throw the ball to. Year 2 leap. Let's go Bo Nix over 210 yards. Another player prop bet that I got. This is a gimme. James Conner touchdown. This one's quick. They got the New Orleans Saints, projected to be the worst team in the league last year. I think the spread, Vegas has the Cardinals winning by at least a touchdown. That's what it is at the time of me recording this. So I think the spread might be around 6 or 7. So Vegas clearly thinks that the Arizona Cardinals can handle the Saints on the road. If the Cardinals are playing with a lead, I do expect them to run the ball a lot more, which just increases the chances of James Conner getting a touchdown. Positive game script. This one isn't rocket science. Bad team who might be, a bad team who might be behind. The team winning might run the ball. James Conner is a really serviceable, good running back. I think he gets in the end zone week 1. And this is more of like a prediction versus like a future bet, which you can technically bet on it. But I think if the Dolphins do start off slow, they do have the Colts, and I think the Dolphins take care of the Colts week 1. That's a bet. The Colts are 0-9-1 in their last 10 week 1 starts. So the Dolphins are as healthy as they are probably going to be for the whole season. They got Waddle, Hill, Tua, Devon said his hamstring or whatever his leg injury he has. He feels good about it. So I think the Dolphins will definitely win this game. That's a bet you can take. I'm just taking Dolphins money line. But the prediction was if for some reason, whether that be injury, just not playing good, team chemistry, whatever, or maybe Tyreek Hill just isn't getting the ball. If the Dolphins do start off slow, I have Tyreek Hill getting traded. Now, where do I have him getting traded? I haven't really thought about that yet, and I'm going to make a video of 5 trade destinations that I feel like would work for Tyreek Hill. But he was really cryptic these last seasons or two as far as sending cryptic messages out with the team. He's been kind of like a distraction. He said some things you probably shouldn't say to the media. requested trades, clearly frustrated by the team, says he still doesn't get the offense. Similar to the Michael Parsons situation that we saw unfold, that if a team, and not that this is the only time this happens, but off the field is really important. So if you're not vibing with the team and you're saying things in the media about your teammates that you probably shouldn't be saying, obviously it could just make it weird in the locker room, which could lead to losing and not focusing on winning. So get what you can get for Tyreek Hill, especially now while I feel like he still holds plenty of value. Now, I don't think you can get 2 first-round picks like a Michael Parsons, but I do think you can get some pretty good draft capital and maybe even a player if you're the Dolphins. So I do predict that Tyreek Hill will get traded, only if the Dolphins start off slow, or maybe Jalen Waddle just emerges as the clear wide receiver 1 with him staying healthy. So look out for that one. I got a few more bets. I'm going to make a part 2 to this video before the season drops. Today is Friday. About to head to work. So I'm going to drop this video later today, probably somewhere during the Chiefs-Chargers game. And once I get off work, I'm going to record another part 2 video with some more predictions and things that I like. And kind of give you guys some more insights, some more bets that I like. Appreciate you guys for watching, subscribing, and interacting. If you haven't already, follow the Instagram, the TikTok, and also you might have seen this logo on the bottom of the screen right here and wondered, what that is. That is my first official sponsor, Art Graphic Design. Any of your graphic design needs, rather that be, promotional posters, flyers, any graphic design artwork in general, that's definitely the guy you need to go to. High quality, really reliable, and he's hooked up a lot of my graphics for the Fueled by Kraft, Instagram, and all my socials. So definitely reliable source. Get to that if you hit him up on Instagram for any of your graphic design needs. I'm about to get out of here and punch this clock, man. Fueled by Kraft.